What is up, Detroit? How are you guys? Detroit Lions. Today on Dynasty Pilot, we're going to be talking about Detroit Lions, about how this year is going to be a very important one. In fact, I think that it's going to be such an impact year that I think that's going to be, uh, man, you guys are so close. We'll see. We'll see. Today, we're going to talk about the Lions rookies and free agencies and offense, defense, and how well they're going to do. Let's get it started. What is up, Detroit? All right. Well, what can I say? It has been such a roller coaster ride since the arrival of Dan Campbell a few years back. I mean, let's see, 2021. Who would have thought? I know we did here on Dynasty Pylon. I said, give them some years, and they're going to turn that team around. That team's going to be around. That's in 2021. I said that. We said, give this team some time, and it'll reconfigure itself. And of course, my co-hosts were like, no, man, Detroit's going to Detroit. They're going to be the same Detroit Lions that we've voted on. I'm like, no, dude, I'm telling you, give it some time. In 2021, they went 3-13. Okay, there was still some, things that they had to do, figure out some crap. 2022, they got a lot better. 9-8, made playoffs, beat the Chargers, and got spanked the next round. But last year, you guys finally went into, it was 23. It was 12-5. So I mean, that was basically what showed forth, and you guys made it all the way through. And then you guys were so close. If you guys didn't watch that playoff game, that was an amazing playoff game. I was rooting for them. I was hoping they would win. The 49ers barely won by 3 points. It was 34-31. It was so close. Listen, the Lions have improved in so many years in the last couple of years, that in so many years that it's been, the Lions have been detrimental, and they've always been that team that they never were a threat. For the first time in the last couple of years, like, the Lions are actually a threat, and it feels good. It really does. Be proud, Detroit. It is a great time to be a Lion. It really is. Because the last time they were this far, it was like 30 years ago. And guess what? It was the NFC Central. Yeah. That division was known as the NFC Central. It's been 30 years. So, uh good for them. They took out the Rams and then the Buccaneers, and hey, it is what it is. So, do I look forward to seeing what they do, and do I look forward to how well they're going to do for the next couple of years? Obviously, yes. This team is very young and very talented, and for those who are doubting Jared Goff, rethink your life. Jared Goff has been to the Super Bowl before with the Rams. He's been there before, so I don't see why he can't be the guy to get him there. So what's the difference? The talent here is probably just as good or better from what he had with the Rams at the time. Jared Goff can't get it done. And as a matter of fact, I think he's gonna be top 10 this year. And it wouldn't surprise me. He's surrounded by so much talent that the Lions have given him. He's got probably one of the best tight ends in the league, probably one of the best receivers in the league, and probably one of the best duo running backs in the league. And the line's not half bad. It's actually pretty good. It's probably one of the best lines that they have. This offense is just really good, and and you can see it. You saw it last year, and this year you can see it even more. And I hope they don't get that hurt or any injuries, hinder them from being as good as they are. But I'm excited for them. Obviously, Dan Campbell knows what he's doing, and it was kind of scary. It was a little scary because at the beginning of the last season, they had like a weird loss after loss after loss after loss, and they're like, dude, Dan Campbell, if you don't get this done this week, you're done. that was it. That was the left. That was the final straw that last weekend. They're like, no, dude, we can't lose this guy. We gotta turn things around. And they went on a winning streak like no other. And they made it to the playoffs. Dan Campbell's safe. Good, because I kind of like him there, and I think with Ben Johnson there and Aaron Glenn, whatever they got going on, like, they're geniuses there, and they're doing it. They're making it happen. I'm glad for Detroit City, and I really am. I'm not even a freaking Detroit fan. I just love the atmosphere and whatever they got going on. Like, keep it up, keep the vibes going. I think this year they can do it again, and I think they get the playoffs easy again. They went 10-5 last year, or 12-5 last year. So let's. Why can't they do that again? So, I think it's gonna happen, but we'll see. So moving on, free agency. What do they do? Right? They made some moves here. Obviously, some retirees. Teddy Bridgewater kind of retired, and then it's Devin Blau or David Blau, and then Akora also retired as well. So they kind of had to make up for that, and they went out and they got Matthew Betts, and then Marcus Davenport, Eric Robertson, DJ Reader, who's probably a really good one, Kyle Pecco, Kevin Zettler, offensive guard, a CJ Moore, safety, and then another kicker with Jake Bates, who probably is a 2-year deal, $1 million. But they brought in pieces to fill in for the gap that they have. But obviously, it wasn't as, anything crazy and as exciting as the draft was, because the draft is they really focused on what they needed then. Last 2 years, they've been doing pretty good at the draft. I'd say last 3 years, honestly. They've been making the right moves, trade-wise, and free agency-wise, not so much. But in the draft, they have been excelling at it, and you can just see how well they're doing and how young this team is turning the ball around. So I'm excited to see what they do. And Mark, dude, hey, what's up, man? Actually catching on one of these shows, and they're going 13-4, he says. All right, I got you down for that. Got you down for 13-4. So we'll see. I have not looked at the schedule yet, and I'm going to look at the schedule eventually when we get there. But again, I'm excited for what Detroit's doing. The talent is very young and good. This team is going to be probably one of the best in the division. Like, look out, Bears, Vikings, and Packers, and they're good too. Like, the Packers are probably the biggest threat here. The Bears have an identity to create with Caleb Williams. So much is riding on his shoulders that it is remarkable that the Bears think that they're going to be as good as they are, but when we don't even know what's going to happen. They need to figure out, like, he's primed to do good, but we don't know. And I'm not worried about the Lions losing to them. I'm not. Like, obviously they spanked them twice. I think the Lions are better defense and offensively. So I'm not even worried about that. But, hey, the Packers are just as young and talented too. So we'll see. We'll see. This is going to be a fun division to watch. It really is. And I honestly, it wouldn't surprise me if I split with all these teams. I'm excited to see what this division brings. I'm excited to see how because they're growing together. They're all young together, and they're becoming a brute force. And they play each other twice a year, so it's amazing. Vikings, step it up, figure it out, because I need you guys to be as competitive as these teams and make it fun, so I can watch and enjoy this division more. But you got 3 teams that are definitely going to be in the runnings. The Lions for sure are definitely making it, as you saw as last year. I think it's going to be exciting to see. So moving on, what do they bring on besides the free agents that they brought on? As for rookies, they went for Terrion Arnold, who is a great pick, probably the best pick that they can do at where they were at in the 24 spot. DBs have been a detrimental, soft spot for these guys. Yeah, I don't know. They just can't figure it out. But not only did they go once, but they went twice. Literally, 40 picks later in the second round, Ennis Rexraw Jr. out of Missouri, another corner, should help him out. Terrion Arnold is going to step in and make impact plays right away. So he's going to help out the other DBs, and we'll get into that as well, because I know there's one in particular DB that I think is going to be a very relevant spot for IDP purposes. And yes, we do talk IDP here. So if you talk fantasy football and you don't know what IDP is, it's individual defensive players. We don't do whole defenses here. We do individual defensive. It's more fun. It's more engaged. You look at both sides of the ball more than you actually do just when you do your offense. Trust me, it's a lot of fun. It sounds scary, but it's actually really fun. Giovanni Manu, offensive tackle out of University of British Columbia. Very good here. How about that line? I mean, this year was definitely offensive tackle year, guard, and it was the line year to upgrade. Not to mention that this line's not bad already. I mean, you got a good offensive line there for Jared Goff, and I think Jared Goff is going to be just fine. I think he's going to have enough time to make plays. They also went after Utah running back Vaki. Good filler there. Obviously, they need someone there to behind Craig Reynolds. Craig Reynolds, who knows if he's going to be there after this contract or even retire. I don't know. He's been there quite some time, but he's been there. He's been their guy. So Montgomery, who knows how much time he has left either, like left in the tank, how much tread is on left. The Bears used them up pretty well. So Gibbs is going to need some help there. I do expect them to get more running backs here in the future, here in the next couple of drafts, especially with the next upcoming draft next year and the year after that. The running back should be a lot better. So I think Gibbs is going to be the prime runner here for sure. But I don't think Vaki's going to be much of an impact. And as for the 5th rounder and 6th round pick, another offensive tackle, Wingo out of LSU, which eventually was a Houston trade that went from Denver to LA, to Buffalo to Detroit. This 5th round was passed around a lot, but they got themselves another offensive tackle, and he could work his way up. Maki Wingo could probably work his way up as well, so up the charts. And Mahogany out of Boston College was another guard. So they focused on this line to get depth, which is good. Like this, there's nothing wrong with upgrading that line. And they're not fancy picks, they're not sexy picks, but they are key pieces in order to get your main quarterback and running back moving behind the lines and hitting the right gaps and getting the right and having enough time to getting the right spots for the receivers to be open and hit that window. So I like what they did. I think they did really good. They went after pieces that they needed. And Terrion Arnold, I think, honestly, is going to help out this defense a lot. So let's talk about this offensive defense, right? They moved in with bunch of pieces that are going to start this season. So the sophomores from last season are now going to rise up and actually be a bigger part of this defense and offense. More importantly, defense, because a lot of those second years are now into those positional roles. Here, let me pull it up. Obviously, Aaron Glenn is a very good defensive coordinator, and Ben Johnson, working with Dan Campbell, they're making things happen. Let me get this up. Here we go. All right, so let's start with the offense as we usually do. This line, Decker, Groswell, Ragnall, Insider, and Penny Sewell. Like, I could mention there's only a few lines that are better than this. Like, the Colts are really good. I honestly think they're one of the best. But I can't argue with this line. I can't say that this line is bad. I can't. I just can't. This line is actually pretty good. So, Jared Goff has enough time to make things happen. So watch out. Who's he throwing to? Amon-Ra St. Brown, obviously, arguably one of the best in the league. Like, Papa named him right, Sun God for a reason, So I like what they had. Khalif Raymond, and then Jamison Williams could be the weird, interesting weapon here. I expect Jameson Williams to be the key factor, the change pace here. if he steps it up and becomes what they drafted him for, this Lions offense is going to be crazy good. And they're already good. Like Sam Laporta is probably easily going to be probably the best tight end here in the league after Kelsey leaves. I think, my opinion. I think he does have some run for the gun, but we'll see. We'll see what happens after Kelsey leaves. There's going to be a new era. There's going to be a new tight end era here, and it's going to be a fast-paced, big-bodied tight ends, which is crazy because a lot of them are like 6'4", which is not like 6'7", 6'8", huge, humongous giants. But Sam Laporta he's going to probably be the front runner of this. So I wouldn't doubt it in my mind. But what's up, Tua? Tua's coming in. Zion's coming in. Yo, just popping in. Got him at 12. Pretty average schedule, but early bye week. Yeah. Yeah. We'll see. We'll see. I haven't even looked at it yet. So, Zion, what's up? O-line, such an OP thing. The Lions. Yeah, exactly. So, moving with this line, the running backs that they have: Craig Reynolds, Jahmyr Gibbs, and Monty. Right. Both these guys are Pro Bowlers. Both these guys can make things happen. They have so much depth here. It's insane. They even have Zonovan Knight, who did pretty good on the Jets, like way back in the rankings here. So I'm not worried about this run game. If this line can stay healthy and produce enough space for the running back to hit the gap, these guys are so fast that they're going to just gun through it. They're going to average at least 4 to 5 yards a carry, especially Gibbs. Not to mention the pass catching game. They have so much talent that they can, alter how they want to. Like, Ben Johnson's probably got to be one of the luckiest coaches right now with having this much talent around him to work his playbook. So good for them, good for him, and good for the running backs. I don't see anyone really having they're going to have a hard time stopping them, really. So we'll see how this goes. But for dynasty purposes, obviously, Sam Laporta, it's good luck getting him, especially in a tight end premium league. I don't think you're going to probably get him for anything lower than a second or a first. Honestly, you have to give him a first, obviously. A first and something. You're not just going to easily get Sam Laporta for a second. No way. Nothing cheaper than that. Obviously, Amon-Ra, that's going to be another weapon right there. You might be able to escape with Jameson Williams. JMO you could probably escape getting something cheaper than the other two. But these are guys that I probably would want on your offense, especially if you have Jared Goff. Getting a stack with one of these guys would be amazing. So go out and get one of these pieces. And if your receiver core hurts really bad, Khalif Raymond could be sitting there, and I think Khalif Raymond will still make production no matter what. But yeah, one of these running back, get a tight end, get one of these two receivers that I'm mentioning. But if you really have to, like Khalif Raymond, I honestly think though the cheapest one here, you're probably gonna get Jameson Williams, and even then it might be, and you probably have to do it now before the year starts. Once the year starts and they start looking his way and start using him more, the cost is gonna be up higher. So, offer a second for him. Don't ever try and go and just throw your first out for. I mean, obviously everyone's gonna want your first. So throw a second, maybe a third. He's still young. He's still valuable. And he's going to be on this team for, at least 2-3 years. So try and get him. I think they rework his contract and they probably keep him for a while. Like, why wouldn't they? So, yeah. All right, moving on to defense. Zion said he got him last year on a trade. Got who? All right, so defensive wise. Marcus Davenport, DJ Reed, Alim McNeil, and Aiden Hutchinson. This line with DJ Reed and Marcus Davenport, it's pretty good. Aiden Hutchinson is going to be a force to be reckoned with. And then the linebackers behind him. Alex Anzalone's always been impressive, always have been a main key piece here, he's always been in your nose, in your face, tackle machine. And if you do IDP, you would know this. This guy's everywhere. Jack Campbell, I expect him to do a lot better. He's one of the best linebackers that came out last year in last year's draft. I expect him to have a bigger role this season. And it's so hard for linebackers. When you get linebackers in IDP leagues, they don't usually do very well their first year. They're still getting adjusted. They just don't. It's rare. Okay, not all of them come in year one, Micah Parsons, and just ball out. It's very rare. Unless they're in that position where they're forced to play that spot. So, like, honestly, right now, I want to say Adrian Cooper might have that advantage this year. Junior Colson, those two might be, in their respective positions and also like year one playing right away. So take a look at the Packers linebackers and Chargers linebackers. I think those two rookies are probably the only ones that are probably going to play right away. But again, it's not typical. It's not like usually they go in and they ball out right away. So careful with that. But definitely, do I recommend getting one of those two? Yes, obviously. But we're not talking about them. We're talking about the Lions. Jack Campbell, if he's sitting there somewhere in your waiver wire, do not let that happen. Get him. I think he's going to have a bigger role this year. With him, Malcolm Rodriguez, and then Derek Barnes and Emmanuel Mosley is probably also going to get involved as well. These five linebackers are all very good. I think they're going to be they're going to be a very good core to these four linemen behind them. So I'm excited for them. The front seven is very good. Now we talk about the DBs when it comes to Detroit, right? It's always kind of been that weird. Like, what happened? They went out and got CJ Gardner-Johnson last year, and it didn't work out. So it's always been an issue. But I think this year, Kirby Joseph, Brian Branch, especially Brian Branch, I think Brian Branch is going to have a Pro Bowl year. I think he's going to have, before his injury, he was doing very good. Opening week, he picked off Patrick Mahomes and then took it to the house. So it's like, I think Brian Branch should and probably will, and I'm telling you right now, he probably will have a Pro Bowl year, and I wouldn't surprise me if he doesn't make it. It wouldn't surprise me because I think he's that good. I think he's going to make it. That's the guy you want when it comes to IDP. This entire roster, obviously Aiden Hutchinson and, Jack Campbell and Alex Anzalone. Yeah. But Brian Branch right there is probably the main bullseye right now that I think right now on this Detroit Lions is probably going to be the one guy you want on your individual defensive player rosters if you play that. So, guys, I can't speak up IDP enough, man. It's so fun. Go out and try it. And at least do 4 minimum. 1 at each position, down lineman, linebacker, DB, and then a flex at minimum. Do those 4. Don't do the defense. You'll love it. I promise you. Brian Branch. I think he's gonna have a good year. Hope he doesn't get hurt. And we'll watch this guy be probably the next face of this defense. And it wouldn't surprise me. It wouldn't surprise me. Brian Branch is that guy. So, moving on. It's so easy when the team, I expect them to be very good. So, watch out for Ifeatu Melifonwu for a late DB pick. Yeah. I think, but I don't think it's going to be this particular year. I don't know, because Kirby Joseph, I don't know. Because I think they moved Brian Branch to the strong safety side. I don't think they keep him at nickelback. I don't think so. I think when they were playing him in safety, he was doing a lot better. I think that Melifonwu is going to get moved back by Brian Branch. I watch. We'll see how this. I think this is going to update. I don't think it's correct right now. But it wouldn't surprise me if Brian Branch ends up playing that strong safety role when Kirby Joseph and him play back there. Well, we'll see. That's not a bad take either, Zion. Like, I'm not saying it's bad either, but I think Brian Branch is going to end up just be the strong safety there. So we'll see. All right, let's get the schedule going. As we do. All right, so interesting. So here we go. Week 1. Obviously they have LA. I think I had this issue with LA when I talked about it. The Rams need to win that one in order to establish themselves. I think it's going to be a good week for them, but it's interesting enough to say that the Lions are so good. I'm not worried about them. I think that the Lions are more established than the Rams defensively. Where offensively, Rams could keep up with them, but I don't think so. Buccaneers, week 2, again, good offense, but I think they lost too many key pieces on defense, where the fact that I think the Lions can just run them over. So it's 2-0 right there. The Cardinals is an interesting one. Cardinals are going to be that weird team, and I keep saying this week after week. The Cardinals are either going to be very, very good or fall flat on their faces. I cannot determine them. And they are the one wild card team that I cannot figure out. And I already did their team. And I think we have them pretty freaking high, actually. I can't even remember. Which was, I don't know if we had like 6 or 7 wins, which is higher than what most people are probably thinking. So, and then we got week 4, Seattle. And then the bye week there at 5, as Tua mentioned, it's early bye. It's going to suck. I don't like it at all. Was you looking at the wrong schedule? I hope I don't have the wrong schedule. Do I have the wrong schedule? I hope it's not. No. I don't. Just hurt my brain. I should have gone right. Oh, no. Okay. Yeah, no, it's this one's down. And then it starts back up in the middle, goes down, and it starts back up in the middle, and then, or on the right, and then goes back down. Yeah. No. It's not left to right. No. Yeah. So you got week 6 here with Dallas Cowboys. Sorry, I couldn't find a better one. There's so many, and then some of them have so many logos on them or with the players on them. I tried to find something that doesn't have so much crap on it. So, and then sometimes it worries me every single time I have to check it and make sure it's this year, because you find other years, previous years. So yeah. Again, where to leave off? Week 5. I hate early bye weeks. And it sucks because this really hurts teams, because it is nonstop football from here on out for the next freaking 12 weeks. 12 weeks of nonstop football takes a toll on these bodies, especially the rookies, because they're not used to playing this long. They're used to playing 12 games a season, not 17 weeks of constant body. That's another 5 weeks of just, poundage on your body. And yeah. So, but yeah, I think you guys take out that entire division, the Rams, the Cardinals, and the Seahawks. Goodbye. I think you guys can do it. Cowboys, I think you guys actually lose here. I think you guys lose to the Cowboys. Cowboys somehow are really good in season, and it's kind of early there at week 5, and it's in Dallas. As a matter of fact, am I going to be at that game? Am I going to be? No, that's the thing. No, I will be at that game. Yeah, I'm going to be at that game. Yeah. I'm actually going to be there in Dallas and watching Detroit Lions there at that game. I'm going to be watching that game. So that will be, I'll actually do a live coverage from inside the stadium. For those of you, I've had 3 other stadiums where I've walked in through that you'd have to scroll through. I think I'm going to have to make a playlist of those. But I think I did the Raiders and the Cardinals. Who else did I do? I don't know. But I'll probably walk around that entire stadium. I'll probably get there like at 2 hours or as soon as it's opening doors and walk around, kind of get a good look at that stadium. So tune in for that day. So I'll probably stream live from my phone and just kind of record the entire stadium inside Dallas Cowboys Stadium. So get an inside look and you kind of talk to me about in there. So I think we hit the shop last time we were in Allegiant Stadium. Allegiant Stadium is very nice. But we walked in, we saw a Lombardi Trophy there, big old giant thing. It was pretty fun. So we'll see what Dallas Cowboys brings. But I'll be there at that game. Um, Following week 7, I think you guys beat the Vikings here. I think you guys beat the Titans here. Green Bay, I think you lose. The Texans, I think you lose. So that's 3 losses there already. Jags, I think you win. I'm not sleeping on the Colts, man. The Colts can be a healthy Anthony Richardson. And I know a lot of people are doubting this because he got hurt and he's still young. But the Colts, I think, are going to be good. That's going to be a good game. I think that game comes down to a field goal, and I think you guys barely win. I'm going to give it a win. Chicago still has to find themselves out. I think you might split with them. So I'll probably, consider that the first home game you guys win there. Then I think you split with Green Bay here. Then I think the Buffalo Bills. Oh, the Buffalo Bills. I like them. I really do. Here's the thing. Buffalo Bills had a really good draft. But the problem is the draft were a bunch of late picks. I think they're a bunch of 7th rounders. And they traded back out of the first. So the Bills also lost a lot of pieces. I haven't covered the Bills yet. I'll probably be doing them pretty soon, actually. So as for the Bills go, Josh Allen is probably still one of the best quarterbacks in the league. Arguably, you can't stop him. He's too good. And he makes magic. He creates things that I don't know. This is going to be a very good team to stop or try to stop. And I think that the Lions are still good enough. That game right there is going to be that determining factor. But not as hard as this week 17 one here with freaking San Fran, because that's basically gonna like a rematch. So I'm excited for this isn't an interesting schedule. I like this schedule. It could be really bad or really good. So far what did I say? Dallas Cowboys lost, Green Bay is split, Texans you lose, and who else I split with you with the Bears, right? So that's 4 losses. 4 losses so far. I think you lose to the Bills. I know. I just think Josh Allen somehow pulls a rabbit out of the hat and destroys the DB somehow. I think that happens. I don't know. Brian Branch is going to be a very important person in that freaking game. Him and Aiden Hutchinson, they're going to have to. I don't know. I don't know. Okay, and then split with the Bears. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 losses. No, that's too many. I don't know. The Bills are going to be a very interesting one. I think the Bills. The Bills. And here's the thing: the Bills, defensively, no, I don't think they can hold up the Lions' offense. I'm thinking about it. I don't think that the Lions are going to have an issue offensively against the Bills' defense. That's too high-powered offense. And if you look at both the defense on the Lions is slightly better. The Bills lose. I think the Bills lose on that one. Yeah. And I can't see anything under it. Like they lost too many good assets. Holy crap, dude. So there it is. You lost to the Cowboys, split with Green Bay, split with the Bears, lose to the Texans, and San Fran. Yeah, I think San Fran. San Fran's going to be that team. Yeah. All right. So what do we got? Let me go back in the chat. I got 5 losses. Mark says 13-4. So I'm going 12-5. Tua says 12-5. Anybody else? No. Okay, so the us 3. So we got 2 12-5s and 13-4. And Mark can't, he can be right. I'm not saying he's wrong. I mean, this is going to be very interesting to see what happens. But between the 12s and the 13, let's go midway and go 12.5. And that is Zion going at 12-5 as well. That's 3 12-5s. So, yeah. I'd say we go 12.5 for these guys. Packers win the division. You realize this team made semi-rounds last year, right? And barely lost to the freaking Niners by 3 points going into the Super Bowl. Had they beat the Lions, and they only lost, it was 34-31. I don't think so, Derpy. I don't think so. But you never know. You never know. You never know. That was last year, though? Okay. All right. All the haters, nobody likes the Lions. Well, I don't care. I don't care. But so my math would say 12. Yeah, I know, but what the hell? We're not going to put a 0.25 Zion. That's dumb. That's no. It's either 12, 12.5, or 13. So I'm going to leave it at 12. I'm not putting a 12.5. Or I'm not putting a 12.25. That's no. Doesn't work that way. Doesn't work that way. I'm either putting 13, 12.5, or a 12. And the fact that 3 of us put 12-5 and Mark's the only 13 here, I'll put us at 12. Let's get rid of this schedule and add the Lions here for 12. And again, this team, I don't care what you say, and I don't care what all the haters say. This team has improved in the last couple of years, and all the haters going to hate because it's been happening. And I said this 3-4 years ago. Watch out for the Lions. I said this. Watch out for the Lions 3 or 4 years ago. That they are improving and they're getting better. And sure enough, look at how far they've gone. They have gotten way better every year. And I'm only saying what they say. Like I can't just justify that. Dan Campbell almost lost his job. I get it. And how people still doubt them. What's it going to take? I think it's going to take a Super Bowl and then people are still going to doubt them for some reason. The Lions just are just the one hated team. And I hate that for them. I really do. I love the Lions. I love seeing what they do. I'm not a Lions fan, but I love how they've turned things around. Detroit. I love what your Lions are doing. Overall, it's a very young team. You guys made the right decisions on trading Stafford. It sucks. I know. He was the guy. He's a very important person there in that building. And he means a lot to everyone. But the fact is, Jared Goff has been to a Super Bowl as well. He could do it again with this team. And I don't care what anybody says or what the chat's saying right now. I don't care because I'm not reading it. People are gonna hate no matter what. But I think what's gonna happen is the Lions are gonna have a redemption year and they could probably make it to semifinals again. They're winning this division. I don't think that the Packers are going to be much of a threat to stop them. They split with them, but again, it's a new team. The Packers don't have the right tools, and we'll get to the Packers soon. But I don't think they have the right healthy tools, I should say. Let me reword that. Healthy tools. None of those guys can stay healthy enough to survive. And they're all talented players. But for the Packers to stay healthy, oh man, good luck. Good luck. But easily I could say that about any other team, right? So it's not fair for me to say that. But those receivers, they crumble. The running backs that they have, Josh Jacobs is known to get destroyed. And he's gone and then he's playing banged up. Then you have to rely on Marshall and AJ. So we'll see. So far, as for the NFC North, we have 5 for the Vikings and 9 for the Bears. 12 for the Lions. We will get to the Green Bay Packers here soon. So here it is. Real quick. Zion, I think it'll take a Super Bowl appearance to get them out of the bad for now. Yeah, I think, but then people are still going to hate. People are still going to hate. And it sucks. I really do. I like this team. I really do. They made 3 generation players retire early. They did. But that was then. It's a new era. It's a new era of the Lions. And I love it. I really do. So we're leaving them at 12. We have a 13. We have an 11. And we have 2 12 and 5s. Your 11 doesn't really do much, Derpy. I'm just going to leave it at 12. So it's going to be right in the middle between us anyways. So there it is, guys. Detroit Lions, 12 wins. We have a few more teams to figure out. We have the Green Bay Packers still to go. We have the Cowboys to figure out. We have the Niners to figure out. The Panthers, the Buccaneers, the Browns, the Ravens, the Texans, the Chiefs. Still have a handful of teams left. Still a month left of football, or until real football. But we have a few more weeks until we have some football, which would be exciting. Because we might actually revisit some of these teams due to a trade just before the season, or somebody breaks a leg. We have to go back to the drawing boards and come back and look at these teams. But we will see. As for now, this is the Detroit Lions here on Dynasty Pylon. 12 and 5 isn't bad, guys. I really like it. And overall, Detroit Lions is probably one of my teams that I'm kind of rooting for. I really am. So we'll see how it goes. See how that division handles it. But again, we'll be back Sunday. Talk about whatever and whatnot we have scheduled for that morning. Hopefully we have a room open on time. We can start early on time. I know it's so early for me in that morning that I usually rely on the Chicago guys to make the room for me to come in and just kind of hop on. So I never know what to expect on Sunday. It kind of gets me a little giddy in the morning. I'm like, oh crap. All right, let's go. So Detroit City. Good luck, best of luck. I think you guys will get 12 wins. I think you guys make Super Bowl appearance, maybe, hopefully. I think at least semi rounds. Hopefully the Niners won't stop you this time. I was there watching and I really was rooting for you. But it is what it is. Good morning, good evening, good night, wherever the hell you guys are at. This is the Detroit Lions on Dynasty Pylon. I will see you guys Sunday and talk on the morning spike. All right, take it easy, guys. I'll see you then. Thanks for watching. Later.
Getting hyped when I aim up, elevating that game up, stepping up to the competition. Only first place, yeah, that's how I'm living. I'm winning till they digging up my grave, eating all the things up on my plate. Game face when I step up in the place. I was born and when I watched me elevate. I was born and when I watched me elevate.